The world as we know it appears to us as a cloth, invisibly weaving the threads of time and space. Each string twists and turns on itself in tight little grids. But if you stepped closer, studied hard enough, you would find it. A hole where some unseen force had nudged threads aside. Some may be fortunate enough to see it coming, to willingly heed the call of the void and discover its secrets. The rest of us aren't so lucky. When you least expect it, one wrong move can change everything. The fabric of space and time may just bend around you, drop you through its folds, transport you to an impossible place. As you walk the endless halls of this new dimension, your footsteps echo around you. Two thoughts press on your mind. There should be people here, but there are none. You find no evidence that this is anyone's home, at least, not anymore. This is a limen, a threshold, a space between. Something becomes a liminal space when it's removed from its original context. A barren airport that flashes its departure board signs to no one. An abandoned train station overtaken by vegetation. A hotel hallway. A house that is not a home. Liminal spaces often have a hypnagogic quality to them. My dreams often combine the natural and man-made worlds in strange ways. A flat gray ceiling closes off what should be the great outdoors. Buildings break off into fractals like the branches of a tree. And people are few and far between, if they exist at all here. You feel inherently alone when you experience the liminal space. Sometimes, being alone is a comfort. And in any other context, it's your greatest nightmare. Part 1. Liminal Comfort. I find an unusually strong link between liminal spaces and nostalgia. I believe it's because the past is now a sort of unreality that you can never really go back to. All you have of it is a memory which constantly loses itself to entropy. Time does not heal all wounds, but it can lay a soft, fuzzy filter over them. Many of us who find comfort in liminality are used to feeling alone. Or, to put it another way, we only feel truly safe in solitude. When I was a kid, my safe space was in my room, where I'd spend my time playing Minecraft on my little pink Kindle Fire, or immersed in thick fantasy books, or writing endlessly complicated stories in my head. When I was even younger, I'd sequester myself in the basement. I'd play space pinball and MS Paint on my parents' old Windows XP computer. I'd watch PBS Kids on the TV, or bask in the vibrant blue glow as my VHS reminded itself. Sometimes I'd touch the screen of that old boxy CRT and let static envelop my fingers like shag carpet. Because of these experiences, I'm comforted by a lot of digital media. When I was in front of a computer or a tablet or a TV, I didn't have to be anyone at all. I could just exist without observation or judgment. In the outside world, everything changed. Socially, I was constantly monitored. So pervasive was the feeling that I began to monitor myself obsessively. Am I making enough eye contact? Am I making too much? Have I molded my face into the proper expression? Why are they looking at me like that? Do I look attentive enough? Did I say the right thing? Did I move weird again? Will I always be the malformed puzzle piece? The dusty glass teacup on the back of a shelf? The weird kid? I always knew the answer to that question, at least. That fact was confirmed every time I did something unexpected. If they didn't outright comment on it, they would make that face at me. You probably know the one. Turns out, when you're the weird kid, even your closest friends become strangers in an instant. I learned to control everything about myself. My eyes, my face, my movements, my voice. All in the hopes of fitting in, being understood, being welcome in a world not built for me. Not that it mattered anyway, because I was still pushed, sometimes forcefully, out of the spaces I sought to connect with. So in the digital world, I made my own. The Kindle, the computer, the CRT, that was my domain. My comfort. My escape. This is the essence of liminal nostalgia. It makes you feel welcome in your solitude. It envelops you in its foggy embrace, makes you feel one with your surroundings. You are in the world, and the world is in you, immortalized in your memory. At least, as immortalized as anything can be in this world. Part 2. The true liminal space. Minecraft has its place as both liminal comfort and liminal horror. If you'll humor me for a minute, it's the liminal space of liminal spaces, a world couched somewhere between welcoming and hostile. Let's get the obvious out of the way first. The end has a very distinctive personality. Stark blackness engulfs you. Oddly colored stone islands pepper the void at random. The terrain here is foreign, hostile, and, well, empty. Yes, chorus fruit stalks and obsidian obelisks stretch their spindly fingers to the sky, but the only evidence of previous sentient life is the end cities, assuming you ever find them in the ceaseless void. The end is the last truly liminal space in Minecraft. It's eerie, vacant, and unwelcoming. It does not want you in its space, and yet, here you are. You have plucked out the eyes of its denizens, arranged them in a square, ripped a hole in space and time, and the only way out? To kill a dragon. Jean. An endling. The last of her kind, just like you. Once you cross that threshold, only one of you can live. As a side note to all of you begging for an end update, I'm watching you. Always watching. The hostile dimension devoid of life is the whole point of the end. Stop trying to get Mojang to fill it with useless stuff. Anyway, when you're not exploring the last bastion of the liminal, you can be enveloped in the more comforting aspects of Minecraft. I've spent thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of hours in this game, exploring endless worlds, building countless structures. I lovingly placed every block, painstakingly added every detail. This sandbox world allows me to be exactly what I am, with no expectation. But there's something funny about building in Minecraft. The larger your builds are, the emptier they feel. A tiny cottage might make you feel at home, like it's just you and your dog against the world. But make a city, or a sprawling castle, and suddenly you're confronted with one thing. You're utterly alone here. This place was made to house so many people, but you're the only one who will ever visit it. You could walk for millions of blocks, but it will never change the fact that every bed will stay empty, every secret hallway will go unexplored. Unless you're in multiplayer, but that's not my playstyle. And this is what fascinates me the most. Remember how I said you're alone in Minecraft? Well, that's not entirely true. With each new update, Minecraft becomes more and more full of life. New animals, new NPCs, new hostile mobs. But none of them look like you. Not a single one. A second ago, you didn't exist. But here you are now, with no memory of what came before. And you can only wonder, are you the first of your kind? Or are you the last? After all, I think it's no coincidence that zombies wear the same tattered outfit as you. The more you explore, the more evidence you find of abandoned civilizations. They're cowering under mountains, sealed in twilight rot. They're entombed in dirt and gravel, and they're left crumbling, waiting, open to the elements. Were these people the ones who made these structures like you? Or are you just another interloper? You will never know. And so you continue on your way, utterly alone in a world that may or may not have been made for you. This liminal presence only strengthens when you play on peaceful mode, like I do. In any other setting, even the nighttime crawls with life, or maybe unlife. But as soon as you flip that switch, everything disappears. You keep straining to hear something other than your endless footsteps, but there's nothing. No groan of zombies, no clank of skeleton bows, not even the subtle hiss of creepers. Nothing. You look for a friendly face, but even passive mobs are nowhere to be found. They can only be birthed in the light. It's just you and the endless black sky. Only gravity prevents you from falling up and joining it. Exploring abandoned structures is criminally easy and peaceful. With nothing living inside them, they cannot fulfill the measure of their creation. Its denizens have been labeled hostile, and therefore are not permitted to exist. The prismarine of ocean monuments flash their colorful pleas to no one. A mansion's only hope of defending its treasures lies in a single trapped chest. And as you disturb the peace of the ancient city, shriekers cry out for a friend that will never come. Because something has caused even the mighty warden to go extinct. What force could be so powerful, so cruel, to do such a thing? To decide that the only life worth forming is one in service to the player. If mirrors existed in Minecraft, you would find your answer meeting your gaze. Part 3. Liminal Horror. When those first fat drops hit my head, I almost didn't see it coming. A freak rainstorm, the kind that could drown the world. I had just enough foresight to race into my university's biology building. I knew I was trapped the moment I crossed the threshold. The wrath of God beat down upon the roof, drowning out all ambient noise. So, with nothing left to do, I explored my new habitat. It didn't take long to realize I was the only one in the building. If you disregard the teacher that scared the crap out of me on his way out. But he, too, quickly left me to my fate. I observed the display cases first. Many of them held preserved animal specimens. Conjoined twin calves, a crouching mountain lion, a leathery monkey's paw. If it curled in response to my desire to experience a liminal space, I did not see it. Taxidermied animals don't make good company on the best of days, but this was a prison of my own making. Their dead-eyed, monitoring stares unnerved me. I didn't trust the elevator, so I climbed the stairwell. This was a mistake. I was engulfed by visions of it breaking through the metal roof, flooding down the steps, and taking me with it, screaming mouth and all. I changed floors. The slap of my footsteps matched the uneven rhythm of my pulse. I opened the door, crossing another threshold. A forest goes silent when predators are nearby. So, too, did the hallways. I was alone. But I still felt watched. Not by a person, but by the building itself. Danger could approach from any angle, and who was I to complain? I was the one who dared disturb the silence. It seems stupid, but I cannot count the amount of times that I got lost in those halls. I had used that building for years, and still I got lost. Disorientation crept through my thoughts, filling my head with static. Isn't this the hall that leads to the greenhouse? So why am I in a room that I don't recognize? Where am I? Windows told me nothing. Decorations told me even less. Landmarks were nowhere to be found. Despite all odds, I was lost. I knew it was your typical college building, albeit one with a confusing floor plan, and yet I got the sense that it was changing around me. Growing new passages, slowly lurching me downwards like tunnels of intestines. This place was a pitcher plant, and I'd walked willingly through its lips. It wanted to digest me, and all it needed now was to keep me there. I knew what I had to do. I scoured hallway after hallway until I finally found a stairwell. I raced down the steps, found the nearest door, braved the storm, and ran wee all the way home, all without slowing down. I got wet, obviously. All that time trapped in the belly of the beast, and the rain had never once slowed its belligerent beatings. But I laughed in relief, because, sopping and drenched and winded as I was, at least I was alive. Liminal spaces tend to fit neatly into the uncanny valley. When something essential is missing, you feel the loss more than you see it. You know it should be there, but it isn't. It's got the bones of something you recognize, but it's just off enough that it feels wrong somehow. But it's just an empty room, right? Then why do you feel like you're being watched, observed, judged? Like you just walked into a room you weren't invited into. Like you almost witnessed something you shouldn't have. You can feel the pressure of a presence all around you. You just don't know where it keeps its eyes. This is not a safe space to lose control. Not that you have control here. You could spend a lifetime trapped in this empty structure with no way to escape. It's just you, your echoing footsteps, and your affectionless surroundings. Because there's no evidence of sentient life in a liminal space, and no perceived link to the real world, you feel lost. Like you've slipped between the fabric of reality, where time and space cannot reach you. If you're the only one here, then no one can find you. No one can hear you scream. No one can rescue you. If they ever even notice you're gone in the first place. Liminal horror reminds you of the separation between your body and your surroundings. It breaches the most primal part of your mind and says, you are not welcome here. You are an interloper, an outsider. You do not fit. The liminal is a reminder that no matter how much you exist in the world, you can never be a part of it. Only a single thin membrane separates liminal comfort from liminal horror. The only difference between the two is whether you feel welcome in the space. And this is why liminal spaces speak to my deepest parts. I've been on both sides of that wall. As an autistic person, I've always felt separated from the people around me. Everyone knew I was different, they just didn't have the words for why. And neither did I until recently. I'm living in someone else's world, and I was never made to be a part of it. But who says it has to stay that way? The world as we know it appears to us as a cloth, invisibly weaving the threads of time and space. Each string twists and turns on itself in tight little grids, but if you stepped closer, studied hard enough, you will find it, a hole where some unseen force has nudged the threads aside. Through that threshold, there is a space for people like us. We just have to make it. And in this vast digital void, I'm glad you found me. Thank you. Knock knock. Who's there? Autism. Brr, brr, brr. Thanks for watching. I'll make this quick. Be sure to do the YouTube things like turning on notifications and hyping and commenting and all that. It means more than you know, and it keeps the ever-turning algorithm from instantly banishing my stuff to the void. It does that a lot. I mean it when I say that there is a space for you here. Feel free to comment. You have unique insights that I would love to hear. Come again soon. Bye.